Thank you, Jonathan. Well, first, I'd like to just thank all of you that have participated in the success of the journal. Can I have the next slide, please? This is a list of the editorial staff at the moment. 3 years ago, when I was asked to assume the leadership role of the journal, we had a different group of editors, Dr. Gordon Brown, Raul Concepcion, Van Kasabian, and Michael Williams did an outstanding job to bring the journal to where it is now. As many of you know, the journal is published 4 times a year. It's on PubMed. Next slide. And as you can see, we've had a significant number of downloads. We passed the 5,000 mark for downloads of journal articles. Next slide, please. And I guess what I want to do today is try to instill upon you on ways that you can make a difference. And I think the largest thing that you can do as members of LUGPA is to contribute, whether it be original articles, case reviews, literature reviews, or even just op-ed pieces. These are all accepted in the journal. You have my email down there below. If an article that you've put together, you wish to get published, send it to me. We do send it out for peer review, but I will make every effort to try to get these articles accepted. And we've worked tirelessly with different authors to bring their publications up to the level of the journal. Next slide. One way, these are some of the topics that we'll talk about, just practice operations, implementation of clinical guidelines, especially how you've incorporated those guidelines into your practice. Analysis of guidelines and best practices can be potential topics that you can submit. Next slide. What are the benefits of the publication? Well, it's indexed in PubMed, which is no short accomplishment. This journal then will be distributed, and when it's searched in PubMed, your article will come up. At least 10,000 urologists do get this journal, so it's the official journal of LUGPA, but there are a number of academics that contribute to the journal. And one thing that we do have is we've tried to maintain a rapid turnaround time. One of the newer sections that we're going to institute, we've had a coding corner that Jonathan Rubenstein has done for a number of years. We're now instituting a technology section on ways that technology can improve things in your practice. So that's a new piece that's going to be coming. Jeremy Shelton is going to head that up, and that will be appearing in the next issues as we go forward. Next slide. This just reviews some of the topics of this past year of areas that were written about, transrectal ultrasound and transperineal mapping. Neil wrote a nice piece about the Crossfire program. Next slide. Next slide, please. So original research, Chris Pizanka wrote an article on Leuprolide. There's been an article by Naveen Shah on the task force recommendations. And there has also been Scott Sellinger and Neil put together the member census of the LUGPA practices. Next slide. And the most recent journal just is coming out with this meeting. There's a discussion that I did with David Sussman on management options for nocturia. There was a very nice piece. I would encourage you to read this piece by Carl Olson and Deek Kapoor looking at the LUGPA data from Long Island and how it's impacted prostate cancer detection. It's a very well done piece. Actually, I think it could have been sent to some of the much higher journals that have a significantly higher impact factor, like the British Journal or the Journal of Urology. They elected to send it to our journal, and I think it's a wonderful piece to read. And then Neil wrote a nice piece about our 10th anniversary, and then Jonathan has his typical coding corner, which really does have nice tidbits on ways that we can improve coding in our practices. Next slide. So with that, I would encourage you to put together articles, send them to me. I'll be happy to help in any way, and thank you very much.